Welcome to episode 3 of the Sizzle Podcast, where we help you grow your customer engagement so that you can grow your business. I'm your host, Bear Wade. Today we're talking about storytelling. Not the once upon a time kind, but the kind that makes your brand unforgettable. Strategic storytelling is the secret sauce behind some of the most iconic brands, and honestly, it's what keeps customers coming back for more. Think about it. People don't just buy products, they buy the stories behind them. They want to feel connected, inspired, and occasionally like they're starring in a feel-good indie movie where everything works out perfectly. Now, before we dive in, I need to admit something. I wasn't always a great storyteller. In fact, the first time I tried to pitch my brand, I was so nervous I tripped over my words, forgot the punchline to my own story, and somehow ended up comparing my business to a burnt piece of toast. It wasn't exactly the inspirational moment I'd envisioned. But hey, we all have to start somewhere, right? And that's the beauty of storytelling. It's something you can refine and improve with practice. Let's start with why stories are so powerful in marketing. Stories connect with people on an emotional level. They're memorable, they're relatable, and they're persuasive. It's one thing to tell your audience that your product is great. It's another to show them how it changed someone's life. Stories give context to your brand, turning cold facts into something warm and human. Think about it. Would you rather hear, "This pen writes smoothly," or "This pen helped me sign the contract that started my dream business"? Stories stick because they make people feel something. And as CMOs and marketing leaders, that's the magic we're after, creating an emotional connection that goes beyond the transaction. Every great story has 3 essential parts: a beginning, a middle, and an end. Revolutionary, right? But here's the trick. Each part has to work together to lead your audience on a journey. The beginning. This is where you set the stage. What's the problem? What's the challenge? For your brand, this might be the moment when a customer realizes they need help or a solution. The middle. Here's where you build the tension. No, I'm not saying you need a plot twist worthy of a Netflix drama, but your audience should feel invested. Show the struggle, the process, the obstacles that were overcome. It's in the struggle that your audience finds the relatability. The end, the resolution, the happy customer, the aha moment. This is where your audience sees the payoff, the transformation that your brand or product made possible. Let me put it another way. If your brand story doesn't have some struggle and a triumphant ending, it's like baking a cake without frosting. Sure, it might work, but it's not going to leave anyone saying, "Wow." Now, you might be thinking, "But Bear, my brand doesn't have an epic story." Spoiler alert, it does. You just have to dig for it. Start by asking yourself a few questions. Why did your brand start in the first place? What problem were you trying to solve? What moments made you feel proud of what you've built? For me, Sizzle's story started when I realized how many businesses were struggling to connect with their audiences in a meaningful way. I saw the same mistakes being made over and over: bland messaging, inconsistent branding, and a complete lack of engagement. I wanted to change that. And let's be honest, I also wanted an excuse to use fire-related puns as often as possible. Mission accomplished, right? One of the best ways to make your story stand out is by infusing it with personality, and a little humor never hurts. Self-deprecation is my go-to because, let's face it, life's more fun when we don't take ourselves too seriously. For example, when I talk about starting Sizzle, I might mention how I once designed a logo so bad that even my dog looked disappointed. True story. The point is, humor makes your brand relatable. It shows you're human. And when customers feel like they're connecting with a real person instead of a corporate robot, they're more likely to engage. Your story isn't just about you. It's about your customers too. In fact, they should be the heroes of your narrative. Frame your brand as the guide or the solution that helps them achieve their goals. For example, instead of saying, "We create amazing marketing strategies," you could say, "We help businesses like yours create marketing strategies that turn ideas into sales." Let your customers see themselves in your story. Highlight their challenges, celebrate their wins, and show how your brand plays a part in their success. So, here is a quick recap. Strategic storytelling is all about connection. To craft a great brand story, remember to focus on the emotional impact. Structure your story with a beginning, middle, and end. Infuse your personality and maybe a little humor. Make your customers the heroes. Your story doesn't have to be perfect or overly polished, it just has to be real. And if your first attempt at storytelling ends up being compared to burnt toast, well, don't worry. There's always room for improvement. Buy the book at unifyyourmarketing.com. Learn more about me at bearwade.com. This has been a production of Sizzle. Grow your customer engagement at timetosizzle.com.